If you're not tech savvy, this piece will hold you back. You cannot say that your brand is for everyone. You need to pick a niche, because I thought that it was saving me time, like to use clear thread, but it was causing me a lot of a headache. You do need a little bit of money to start, especially if you want to do it somewhat right. I curated a list of actual things that I needed to purchase in order to start my business. I had to use my dad's social security to sign up for PayPal. Like, don't let anybody dish you for putting that stuff on a Gildan hoodie, because people still come to me to this day and tell me that it's their most comfortable hoodie. And I've learned this in business school too, so don't let them tell you anything else. Real life, step out and talk to people about your brand. If you don't birth those ducks, you have no ducks to put in a row. There's no brand that's just for everybody. I think over time you can create a brand that is for everybody. I just remember the night before, like, I didn't have any type of credentials. I didn't have no LLC. I didn't have no tax, no nothing. I was crying, not tears of joy. I was crying because I had a lot of work to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's something about this girl, man, from around my way.
I'm like trying to get my jitters out, because I'm not like a YouTube personality anymore, and I don't really know how to like be normal. I don't know how to be normal. Like, my YouTube personality is built on middle school stuff. Yo, what's up, Earth? It's P. Today's video is how I got started with my streetwear clothing brand and like how that came to be. Little, I don't know, tidbits of information. I'm very serious business owner. My name is, hi, my name is Perris Mykel. I used to do YouTube when I was in middle school, and like that's like primarily, you know, like that's what my YouTube era was. I did a lot of skit videos and stuff like that, but I'm like transitioning into what I like to call cooking, lifestyle, and business. I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I do a lot of everything, business stuff, videos like this, where I either teach you, you know, how to get on Pinterest, how to get on TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, I hate being in bed and being like, still wanna do that journey, still love to edit, still love to put my own content together, put my voice into the world, because you get all this wisdom and then you can't share it. Like, I really want to share my wisdom. I can look back on them and other people can learn from them and look back on them too. So that's what this channel is about. This is Perris Mykel. It's not the last you'll see of me, even if this video you don't subscribe, you know. Like, I won't take it personal if you don't subscribe, but if you do subscribe, I'll take it very personal. Go ahead and hit that like button too while you're at it. And again, follow me on Instagram at Perris Mykel, so you can just see some more of my lifestyle content. And let's get into the video. Today's video is how I started my streetwear brand / my clothing company. The Nightmare Clothing is my baby. This is my LLC, my clothing brand. The Nightmare Clothing is meant to inspire and represent your unique lifestyle. I have transitioned from trying to mass produce a design to doing one-of-one designs pretty much only. Like, the niche of my hoodie, because everybody has a hoodie brand, the niche of my hoodie is not only does it have like reflective logos on it to protect you at night and to just like make your pictures look extra like fun. Let me see, the inside of the hood is reflective as well. The best one to show you is the black one. Like, I literally have to show you one, but yeah. Boom. So first, the logo is reflective, and this is the original logo. This is like the third or second version of the logo. But we have the hands on the back, which is classic, and then the logo on the front, which says Nightmare. And then on the inside, we have the hood. As you can see, it's lighting up. To my eyes right now, like from here, it's just black. It's just plain black. I don't know how to like let you see that, but like because the light is shining on it, like you can see that it's already lighting up. You go like this with the flash on, you can really see it. So yeah, so that's really like my niche of my hoodie brand. The start of the brand was originally I wanted to do like a satin line hoodie thing, but I kind of just kept getting the idea like it wasn't original, which it wasn't. I didn't really want to just like straight up copycat somebody, because that was never my plan, to like copycat a brand and then just kind of stick my logo on it. I don't know, that just never went through my brain. I ended up finding my reflective material that goes inside the hood, and I always say that I really like didn't look it up. Like, it kind of just came to me and I had the idea and then I like executed it from there, and I never looked back. But I didn't like know that I wanted to put reflective on the inside of the hood. It kind of just came to me. I curated a list of actual things that I needed to purchase in order to start my business, and this is pre-LLC. This is pre-website, probably even pre-Instagram. I have personal Instagrams and a personal Twitter at this point. Keep that in mind. After I find the reflective and my brain just kind of goes light bulb, I already had money saved up in my savings account. I want to say that the Cricut machine itself was already like $600, $700 like off the bat, and I got it on sale. Okay, no, it's actually not that much. I think I only dropped maybe like $400, $500 on mine. But this, it says on sale at Target they're only like $300 right now with like all the tools and stuff. But I ordered all of those things, and mind you, this was COVID time. This was like prime time COVID time, like 2020. So not only was everything taking 10 times longer to come, stuff was extra expensive, and there was just a lack of materials. There was a lack of urgency. Like, you didn't know if you were actually gonna get your stuff. Shopify's basic plan is like $30. I ordered 12 blanks, 4 of each color or something like that. May 23rd, 2020. So I had been prepping since at least like late May, right? I ordered a black hoodie, a blue hoodie, and a gray hoodie, and something about that feels like. And I also ordered I used to use clear thread because I thought that it was saving me time, like to use clear thread, but it was causing me a lot of a headache because like clear thread isn't cloth. It bunches up way differently like in the sewing machine than regular cloth, like, you know, thread. And I didn't have a heavy duty machine at the time. I just had like a little like make pillows every once in a while type of sewing machine, so it was literally causing me so much pain. I ordered 2 clear threads at $5.71, and then I ordered a red hoodie at $14.99, and then I ordered a black hoodie and a blue hoodie. The black hoodie is $14.97 and the blue hoodie is $14.50. And then the heat transfer vinyl roll, that was $16.99, and I only ordered one of those, and that I think had a whole yard. So I'm trying to think, because the purple one that I made was like the first one that I posted, and I don't remember making the red one or the black before I made purple. I said all of that to say that you do need a little bit of money to start, especially if you want to do it somewhat right. There are ways and tricks around it, but it's really hard if you can't create a sample whenever you want. You know what I mean? I think that it's important in the fashion industry that you understand how to make clothing, and it's not just how to put a design on clothing, because in that case that would just make you a graphic designer when you're just a designer sticking your art on clothes. I cannot talk right now. If you're already an established designer or like creator, it's very easy to do that kind of thing. But if you're not, and you're a creative at heart, and you're definitely somebody who doesn't like it to be the easy way out, you really want to do it legit, like learn how to make clothes. I was making shirts and cutting things up and making shirts tighter and doing random things, and that's why I can translate that into my brand, because I know what I like in streetwear and I know what I like as a creative. For me, I know that this Gildan style of hoodie, that's another thing. The first versions and a lot of my like classic designs, they're definitely just on a Gildan hoodie. Like, don't let anybody dish you for putting that stuff on a Gildan hoodie, because people still come to me to this day and tell me that it's their most comfortable hoodie. At the end of the day, I know that my brand, I want to take it somewhere else, and I'd like it to be a 10-ounce heavyweight hoodie. Is that on the edge over here? Yeah, this is the newest one that I've been working on. This is like the 10-ounce heavyweight that I've been like trying to get my hoodies to be. You see the difference like between that and this? Nightmare is my own creative art project, but at the same time it's really meant to inspire other creatives and other people who just live in their own unique lane to be comfortable doing their thing, to be comfortable standing out at the same time. There's multiple messages mixed in between there. Sometimes when you start a brand, and I've learned this in business school too, so don't let them tell you anything else. Sometimes you don't know what your mission is immediately. Sometimes you don't know who your target audience is immediately. All I do know is that it cannot be everyone. You cannot say that your brand is for everyone. You need to pick a niche. You need to pick a space. Is it affordable? Is it luxury? Being for everybody, which is the middle of that space, people don't know where to go. There's no brand that's just for everybody. I think over time you can create a brand that is for everybody, but at the same time, even to this day, like, Target's not for everybody. Don't hate on your journey for not knowing exactly every single detail of your brand, because sometimes that just comes with time. I've been figuring out how to run my brand and who the people are that I want to represent my brand, and like who I want to work with, who I don't want to work with. So many different pieces to it, especially when you're working alone. That's the other part of it that nobody really explains to you when you're an entrepreneur, that a lot of the time you can get a business partner, but you are going to be working alone for a lot of your different projects that you want to pursue. Your journey is not going to look like everybody else, just like the rest of your life has not looked like everybody else. I didn't realize that Telfar has been around since 2005. Like 2 years after I was born. Babe, I can't compete with a brand that was 2 years before I was born. That's my fault for not doing my own research on that brand, but I didn't realize how long it's taken for Telfar to gain its own kind of popularity, its own kind of crowd, its own kind of target audience. Real life, step out and talk to people about your brand. Real life, step out and figure out who's marketing and advertising majors next to you. I had some money in my savings account already, which I completely 100% begged my parents hands and knees to let me take some of it out in order to start this business. And at the time, I actually didn't even have a debit card. In 2020, I didn't even have a debit card to my name. Again, asked my parents if I can go to the bank and get a debit card for the first time. And I get this debit card because I have to buy so many things online at this point. It's prime time COVID, everything's taking forever, but you definitely have to order things online. If you're not tech savvy, this piece will hold you back. You will need to either hire somebody or YouTube University your life away. I know HTML. I know how to build code, period. So putting together a website with little drag and drops was not hard at all for me. I know how to do a lot of things by myself. I know how to photograph by myself. I know how to sew by myself. I know how to build websites by myself. Sewing, my grandma taught me because I was making videos before YouTube. I already knew how to edit. I do know how to do these things. I know how to take the power of editing on Final Cut Pro and translate that into Shopify. That part will hold you back. Creating a website, an e-commerce website for you to build is going to hold you back. Everything is on YouTube these days though. You can follow somebody step by step to get that from start to finish. You don't really need to hire anybody. You just have to have patience. And if you already don't have enough patience to try to at least understand the inner workings of your website, you've already lost the entrepreneurial game. You're only in it for the money. I can already tell. You literally have to put in the work.
Get your fucking ass up and work.
And I'm not saying that you actually have to finish building the website yourself, but you should understand how the website is built. Because I don't know how long Shopify's free trial is. I want to say it was maybe a month. And mind you, I started ordering stuff in May. So I think that it was a month, and that was kind of my timeline. I'm just getting to the end of my deadline. Like, I'm getting to the end of my deadline where I've announced to Instagram already that I was going to drop on this specific day. I had actually posted a picture of my first sample on Twitter. I have the screenshot, but I don't have Twitter no more. It popped off. Like, if you know, like, it's hard to get likes or like reposts on Twitter, and that got like a cool amount of traction, period. That was just like the community, like me understanding the community was messing with it. Like, they rocked with the style. Literally like a lavender purple one. I'm like, okay, like even the guys like mess with this lavender purple sample that I posted, so this is cool. So I reached out to all of my friends and I asked them if they wanted to purchase a hoodie or whatever, and most of them were down. And then I was also like, can I take pictures of you, you know, and I pull up and I drop it off, blah blah blah. So I used those original pictures as my original marketing for the whole entire thing. So when I launched, those are the pictures that I used on the website, like those are the pictures I used on the Instagram, and I used it like that. And don't be afraid to ask your friends to buy a hoodie, because they should want to support you if they are your friends. And my friends had no problem at the time supporting me. I'm not done building the website the night before I'm supposed to launch. I remember that. Like, I was up, like awake, like trying to finish building that website. And even when I launched, I don't even think that the website was done. Like, I didn't have any type of credentials. I didn't have no LLC. I didn't have no tax, no nothing. I was very adamant on getting the website launched at the right time because I didn't want to seem like a liar on the internet. I got the website up without any of the right credentials, and I don't know if I recommend just launching it like that. I think you should at least secure like your trademark name or your LLC or something, just because that's really important. Part of my research was finding out if there were any brands even close or similar to the Nightmare clothing. You need to research your name hard enough and different versions of your name hard enough to where you can get it trademarked or you can get it LLC'd, to where you can just register it, period, for your state. My first 2 years doing Nightmare was really consistent, really good, especially the first year. The first year I was dropping every single month, but I would just keep the front logo, change the color of the actual hoodie and the inside like lining, and then on the back, instead of the hands, I would have some kind of like seasonal design. I've done like a snake. I've done like somebody looking at themselves in a mirror. I've done a lot of different designs that I kind of also forget about just because of how long I've been doing it at this point. But yeah, I'll try to insert some pictures and stuff. That was cool for a little bit, but me going into my second year, like I was starting to just like not really be behind that. I was just like, this is my brand. Like, why was I keeping myself in a box? Why was I having to do it a specific way? And that's because the debt of success is that you think that you have to keep doing it that certain way. That hindered me, that idea hindered me from trying anything too out of the box, too new, just experimenting with my brand. Mind you, like, it's not like my brand was Telfar. Like, everybody had to have this specific kind of hoodie. Make mistakes while you still can. And they were not mistakes. Make those ideas come to life as much as you can. And once I gave myself permission to do that, I also took a break. And I literally put the website on pause, and I had it on pause for a really long time. When I came back, I dropped zip ups. I did Nightmare Week. Nightmare Week was like full of different ideas that I had never gotten the chance to execute, that I had always been like, oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I'm gonna do that in conversation, but I had never like came around to actually doing it. So I dropped beanies, more sweatpants, like just the black sweatpants, matched the gray style sweatpants that I had going on, and then I dropped the zip ups. I had been talking about doing zip ups for a long time and making them nightmare, and I had finally dropped those 3 things that had just been on my to-do list. And that launched a different piece of me, because it was just like, you can do whatever you want to do. You don't have to follow a script, you don't have to follow a trend, you don't have to follow any kind of styles. You can really drop whatever you want. You can do it however you want, and you can say whatever you want. Yeah, my Operation Nightmare Zip Ups, they really launched a different side of me because of the feedback I also received from that, with people being like, every time you drop, it's just something cooler and cooler. My new goal was to just keep dropping designs that I felt were cooler and cooler, or I felt were like more bold or more unique. I've been in that zone of not only trying to rebrand it to the right target audience, because your brand is not catered towards your specific friend groups, it's catered towards strangers that you haven't met yet. In 2024, I really stepped out of the box on everything that I can do for Nightmare, and that started with this hoodie right here, this bleach dyed hoodie, because there's a design on it, and I hand painted this hoodie myself. Something about when I was making it really just scratched an itch in my body. My art and my creative hand touch on my hoodies, like I want to move into that, and I want to put them on heavyweight hoodies. I want to do that. Don't be scared of your own potential. Don't fear potential. Don't fear your biggest dreams. You are their worst nightmare. It is a journey, and none of it is easy. When I first launched and I got good insane amount of orders, just period, something that I had never experienced, I was crying. Not tears of joy. I was crying because I had a lot of work to do. Sewing is not what I do. It is a hobby that I am learning to get better at and better at. I started that business when I was like 18, 19. I'm 21 now. Actually, I started it when I was too young to even register. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, dog. I started when I was 17 because I had to use my dad's social security to sign up for PayPal. Literally. So start that business whether you're 17, whether you're freaking 32, because you have no ducks to line up if you don't have anything off the ground. If you don't put it out into the world, if you don't birth those ducks, you have no ducks to put in a row. Don't fear that success. Fear not having a plan behind that success. If you're literally working towards a target audience that is not agreeing with you, go the other direction. That is the craziest thing about entrepreneurship, is that you can pivot anytime you want. Not only have I gone to university, I've gone to university for business school, and I've gone to university to be an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneurial major. So I kind of know what I'm freaking talking about at this point. Not that this video actually gave you any real deal advice from university. This is very much so personal experience. But if you want a video that gives you like actual university advice, like what I learned in business school and like how it can apply to you, let your girl know, because I would love to share that knowledge too. Like, don't let my tuition go to waste for the free ski. Like, I'm not gonna gatekeep that. I don't know how to like end this, so I'm just gonna say, if you enjoyed, obviously you know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and comment down below if you are planning to start a business in 2025, or if you have started a business and you just need some help, some tips, any business comments, drop it in the chat, y'all. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.